They're looking up Tennessee's pod, and we got Vandy, and we got Kentucky, and they're playing. Oh, national champs. Okay, you know what's crazy is when you were talking Tennessee earlier, and you took Georgia out of the mix. I immediately got excited. You know, I was like, oh shit, we ain't got to deal with Georgia. That would be awesome. But don't forget when we go to this pod thing. We're playing Georgia every other year, you know. So even though you may get a year off, that just means they're rolling into town the next season. So
Right.
you're not really able to hide from some of these SEC opponents anymore.
Right, and probably the year you don't get Georgia, you get, Texas, Florida, LSU,
Yeah.
on and on and on. I mean, it's a damn murderer's row every year.
Have we seen the last undefeated season, Mike? Have we seen it? You, the knock when we were talking Georgia last year was the scheduling, and we're looking at it and we're like, where is the loss? You know, they're not playing Alabama. They're
Right.
not playing, was it LSU, or any of these. They weren't doing that. And so that's why, I put a lot of money on them win. I think the bet was 10.5 was the spread to start of the season. Man, I put a shit ton of money. I'm like, dude, they're going to win 11 games easy. So
Right.
it's going to be far and few between. Next year may be something, but after that, it's going to be really, really tough to see any undefeated teams going through the SEC.
Yeah, not only that, Shay, but the teams that you look at and say that, Alabama, Georgia, LSU, teams that could run the table, they are loading up with Clemson,
Yeah.
Notre Dame, Oklahoma and Texas. Of course, they're coming into the league now, but Southern Cal. It goes on and on and on. They are beefing up their non-conference because they knew the playoff was going to
Yeah.
be expanding. So I think it's smart the way a lot of these teams are looking at it. We may not be able to survive this murderer's row of the SEC in the years to come, but if we have a win over, if we have one loss in the SEC and we beat Southern Cal and Notre Dame and Boston College or what, that's a hell of a resume,
Yeah, it is, and I think that's what you're going to be doing is beefing up. You're getting your wins outside the conference against other serious opponents. You have to,
Right.
because I and I'm not knocking TCU or anything like that, but here's a team with a great record, but they got their ass destroyed in the championship game and I think that was important because when these guys get into that office next season and they're voting for teams, they're going to be a little bit more hesitant bringing somebody in there because there was lots of money. I'm talking tons of money lost because nobody was watching that game past the halftime. Well, if they're not watching games, they're not watching commercials, and if you're not watching commercials, they're not making money. So money drives this league, and I think there's going to be you're going to see a little bit more of that in the future. It's not about wins and losses as much as it is who'd you played, how was it, how close was it. You're going to see a lot more of those I almost said it. One of those close games. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't have to go undefeated anymore,
Right.
but you cannot afford to be blown out.
Yeah.